Hello team, welcome back. Another installation, episode, whatever you will, on the man van. I'm going to have to think of another name for it before I get, told off for political correctness and stuff like that. I self-identify as a man, male. This is my van. Throwing it out there before, things start to go wrong. Today, clutch. Well, tonight, clutch and dual mass flywheel. Yeah, bit of a story to this. Did Snetterton earlier on in the year, had an issue with a car, but found what that was. And that was a couple of months ago, and this trotted up to Snetterton, and then come back and basically just sat in the yard. Yeah, it went from the yard to the workshop and back, but didn't really do anything. So it was a track day on a Sunday. I thought, right, we're going up there. Got the van into the workshop, getting some things put into it, space heater, we knew it was going to be cold. And I thought, ooh, I'll take this for a spin. Went and took it for a spin and got it. By the time I got into fourth gear, put my foot down and the clutch slipped, and I'm sat there going, no, not now, now is really not the time for this, I don't need this. So this was real late Friday night. Thought there's nothing I can do about it, so jumped out of bed right early Saturday morning, went down to parts place. Dude, need a clutch and dual mass for this, get it sorted. He went, well, we got one in stock, an LUK dual mass and clutch with the bolts and everything. I'm like, I don't care, just give it and we'll sort it out later. So get it home and looked at the flywheel bolts, and I'm like, these are a big Torx. So I go padding off out, go grab my set of Torx. Biggest I've got is a T55. Biggest my daddy's got is a T55. So I've looked at them, looked at T55 and gone, oh no, T55 ain't big enough, it's a T60. On the phone to my Snap-on man, dude, I need this now. Like, have you got one on the van? He's like, I'm at home. I'm like, dude, sort me out, in all fairness to him, he did let me pick it up from his house Saturday afternoon, and he was mighty fine about it. Yeah, could not ask for any more off of him. Anyway, get the van in the workshop Saturday, thinking, right, I'm going to crash this out, let's be having it. And just as I'm laying underneath the van, I'm looking at it, sort of eyeing it up, thinking, right, yeah, we're going to have to drop the back of the subframe here, right, let's go for it. I thought, ooh, let's have a little bleed of the clutch. So I got my mates to jump in, like, press the clutch, yeah, oh, a load of air's come out. That's not the symptom for slippy clutch, that's the symptom for draggy clutch. Right, let's properly have a bleed of the clutch. Pumping it up and down, bleeding the clutch, and I don't know if it was just the movement of making the clutch go backwards and forwards and making the slave cylinder work, but it stopped slipping and it felt back to how it was. So we've loaded up, whacked on up to Snetterton, and sweet, it was great. But I need to change it. The dual mass is rattling. Poor thing doesn't get an easy life. It does get, it's not overweight, but by the time you've got stuff in the van and car on trailer and that, you're like just under 5 ton. Geez, so it's got to be done. I got the bits. Let's crack on. You've had 5 minutes of me talking, so let's get underneath and and show you what needs to be done.
Right, well, we're underneath the van and I'm trying to do my best with light here, but it's really difficult. This is the back. That there, the bit I haven't got any hands free for, that bit is the back of the gearbox. That bit there is the drive shaft. So the drive shaft is held onto the back of the gearbox by that bit, which is a rubber guibo. There's 3 bolts that go through the rubber donut thing into the back of the gearbox. So that rubber thing holds all the torque and all the power. Yeah, it's only a 125 PS, but I think I'll be putting a new one of them on at some point. Sort of up there somewhere is the gear stick. Right there, that goes into the cab. That bit up there is the bell housing of the gearbox, and round this side somewhere, that hydraulic line that you see smack bang in the middle of the screen that goes onto that thing is the slave cylinder for the clutch. So all of this lot needs to come out and be detached from that bit there. So that bit is gearbox, that bit is engine, and maybe, just maybe, you can see a very faint line there. That is where it needs to come apart from. Now, as you can see, we've just done the oil. Yeah, this is going to be fun task. And oh yeah, let me just try and fill you in. That's the subframe. So they're the back 2 bolts that go through the wishbones. That's the rear gearbox mount. That's the fuel tank. That's the exhaust. This is, yeah, the space we've got to work in. Quite nice, quite a substantial amount of space. However, this thing is probably going to weigh a ton, so therefore we haven't actually got much space to work in. So I'm going to, first things first, these, that bolt there, right there, there's 3 of them. I'm going to buzz them out, and I'm going to do my best to have you with me the whole time. It's probably going to be a couple of part series to get this thing out. So we are going to have to drop the back of the subframe. Oh, darkness. Hello darkness, my old friend. That's the steering rack. That's the power steering lines that run underneath the gearbox. So when you take it off and drop it and smash the power steering lines, yeah, such fun. Right, hopefully all we need to do is just pull it back enough to get at it, and we can do the dirty business from there. But I'm going to start with the prop. Oh, take the prop off there. Take the prop off there. And if you're really struggling, there's a second one there before the diff, all the way down the back. Oh look, it's got a tiny little grease point in it. Most of you probably don't know what that is. It's amazing. So, first things first, then we'll get inside the cab and get the shifter out and go from there. Cinemo. Right. Again, I apologise for the light. Sort of struggling a bit here anyway. Right, this is the gear lever. Well, what's left of it. That sits in, there's a hole down there somewhere. Sits in top of the gearbox. That sits there like that. That little metal bracket there that you can't actually see. There's a
little metal bracket there, and it pulls the whole lot out. Now, bring this out into the light. This is the actual levery knob, and on this point here, right about here, there's this little pulley job. Well, in there, probably can't see it, but it activates a pulley levery thing, and that's what gets the gear lever off, to get that off, to get that out. Now we've done that, back underneath, you'll see why I did it. Right there, that bit there, that's where the lever comes through and goes into that bronzy socket there, goes in there. You need the gear lever out of the way to be able to move the gearbox. So this plasticky thing here, held on with these Torx bits, and that frame there can now all stay on when we drop the gearbox back down. So that's the back done. Because this shaft is so long, I actually ended up taking the middle carrier off and the back carrier, and it prop is just sort of laid off to the side. That's the back bit. Now, you don't have to drain the oil out of this, because this flange here, the one I was just playing with, doesn't come off, and nothing comes off the front. Because it's a manual, it's got no oil cooler. So all we've got to do is basically, at the moment, stick that there, undo all the bolts around the bell housing, front and back, left and right, sorry, and probably this mounting here is held on by one bolt here, one bolt here. There's a nut there, the little rubber bobbin, and another nut here, and that is held on by magic. There's obviously something somewhere else, probably under here. Yeah, I can't feel it. And then probably drop the back of the subframe, pull the gearbox back. So I'm now gonna, oh, I've also undone the speed sensor. I'm now gonna bimble about and try and work out how the rest of it comes apart, and I'll catch up with you in a second. I haven't been having fun, not at all. Alright, let's get back under it. Yeah. Right, all the bolts are out. There's lots of them, and I mean lots. 10 maybe. Anyway, let's have some light. Underneath, I'm trying to get the gearbox off. I'm prying, really struggling like hell. I had that bolt, that subframe bolt there, I had a proper argument with. Lights right in my eyes. It wasn't stuck in the thread. The shank of the bolt was stuck on the. It was seized to the inner of the mount, so you couldn't use an impact gun on it because it just kept bouncing on the rubber of the mount, and that really wasn't fun. So that was a patience trying game. Anyway, got them off, dropped the back of the subframe. I'm thinking, yeah, that's right, we're nearly there. Struggling like hell to get the gearbox off, and as I'm prying, because this has obviously never been off, as I'm prying thinking it's stuck on the dowels, I see the subframe wobble, and I think, oh god,
Like, what have I done? You know, what's going on? Right, this is what's going on, and whoever has done this, I will find you, and you are going to get a smack on the nose, because this is complete stupidity. Right, this is the mount, the back mount for the gearbox. Now you can already see it. There's a tiny little locating dowel in there. 20 minutes, probably more, I've been struggling to get this gearbox off. And it's rocking and I'm fighting with it because of one locating dowel. So hopefully, fingers crossed, this is just going to pop straight off now. Probably fall down and crush the power steering lines, and I'll be swearing and it won't be fun and games. Yeah, I'll update you in a bit, but there are 2 bolts at the top of the gearbox. You will miss them, but they are there. They're right on top. You can just about see them, and it's like a double flexi joint, 3.5 foot of extension job to get to them, but they are there. You will need to get them. So, back in a mo. Ta-da! After much swearing, much swearing, quite a bit of playing around with the subframe. When people say, drop the back of the subframe, what they mean is basically take it off. And what we now have is this. Light everywhere. Gearbox, clutch and DMF. Finally! Woohoo! Oh, now it's not working. Right, here we go, clutch and DMF. Now, this DMF should not do this. Yep. Whilst it's dropping bits. That is, well, dependent upon who's using it, but I'm using it. That is, well, you can see that gap there against that gap there, on that one. I don't know, I'd say a couple of 100 miles to 1,000 miles, so between 2 and 1,000 miles away from breaking totally, and leaving me stranded high and dry, and it wouldn't be on the way back from a race meeting now, would it? That would be too simple. It would be on the way there. So there's 6 bolts, 1, 2, 3, another 3 the other side, clutch and fingering plate comes off, and I think there's 8 bolts hold the flywheel, and that's the trigger tooth. Right, there's the missing tooth, but yeah, it's missing because that's counted as a tooth, and that's the missing one. That and buggered. So what I'll do is I'll rip it off and we'll have a look at it on the bench.